Here's our trade bait board. Normally I'd sing, all right, well, Guentzel, Hanifin, Henry, first round pick, and Jake Chychrun talking trade bait. And number 6 to 10, we got Sean Walker and Tarasenko, Vetrano, Dumba, Jacob Markström talking trade bait. And now it's time for Craig bait. We're going to talk first about the fact that Pierre LeBrun is reporting the Devils are still pushing for Jake Markström. Not soon enough to save Lindy Ruff's job, but they're still pushing for Jake Markström. Now, Craig Conroy apparently worried about ripping the heart out of the dressing room if he moves the goalie. We all know Markström very upset about the fact that everything got out about a potential deal and that he was asked if he would be okay with going to New Jersey. He said he was, and then the deal doesn't happen. So, if you're Craig Conroy, do you just make the deal if it's the right deal for your team, or do you hold on to Markström knowing that maybe it's too much for your dressing room to deal with right now?
Listen, like this idea about the dressing room can't handle things, come on. Like that's not a reality. Listen, there's disappointment when good players leave and certainly friendships to develop, but the dressing room isn't going to fall apart because a player leaves. Chris Tanev left, they come back and they play hard, and this team does play hard. What Craig Conroy knows is that he set out on a direction with his potential unrestricted free agents, either trying to sign them or he was going to move them. Jacob Markström's not one of those unrestricted free agents. He's got 2 years left. He's one of the NHL's top goaltenders. And unless he gets exactly what he wants from the New Jersey Devils, you're staying right here. Yeah. You're not going anywhere. You're staying right here. And if somebody wants to make me a legitimate offer for Jacob Markström, then I might consider it before I go to Jake Markström to ask him if he'll waive his no-move clause. Nobody, he's not dictating to me. The agent's not dictating to me who's being traded. It's up to Craig Conroy to get value for Jacob Markström.
And it feels like the Flames must have had a deal that Conroy liked, or they wouldn't have gone to Markström in the first place the first time, right?
I would say no.
No?
Because if there would have been a deal done.
Okay, fair enough. Darren Dreger says teams are circling on Jake Chychrun. Do you think it's possible that actually happens by Friday, or do you see that more as a deal in the summer, maybe?
Well, listen, I look at the Ottawa Senators. They got to make changes to their lineup. They traded for Jacob Chychrun. Is Jacob Chychrun going to be an annual person on our trade bait board? I hope
Let's
not.
hope for James Duthie.
I think Jacob Chychrun's a really good player, and certainly the Ottawa Senators are looking at it. So I have to think that other teams are looking, going, okay, Jacob Chychrun, another year on his contract, very, very reasonable value, comes in, can play a lot of 20-plus minutes. So you're trying to look at what the cost of doing that is. For the Ottawa Senators, though, I think having more teams involved in a discussion for Jacob Chychrun could get them a better return.
Absolutely.
Teams at this point in time, Jay, are not ready to give up players off their roster. So I'm not saying you're going to get a good player, but a younger player on a roster, you know, unless you get a really good prospect that's ready to come in and play, or a young player that's just on the cusp of playing, I'm waiting until the offseason if I'm the Ottawa Senators. I don't need picks.
Yeah.
I don't need their prospect cupboard's been good. They got to change the composition of their team with something significant with respect. If you're going to trade Jacob Chychrun, you better get a player that come in and help you in another area.
Is there a chance you could get Chychrun for less than you could get Noah Hanifin for? And if you couldn't, maybe if you didn't have all the assets for Hanifin, maybe Chychrun would be a nice plan B?
Well, okay, so Jacob Chychrun, Noah Hanifin, good players.
Yeah.
Okay, good defenders, right? Right now, Hanifin's game is, I think, a little bit higher than Jacob Chychrun's, but I would have no problem giving a first-round draft pick for Jacob Chychrun or Noah Hanifin.
Right.
I think they're both players that are really consistent, really good, strong players in a lot of different areas of the game. Noah Hanifin has been excellent, durable, jumps into the attack, second power play, penalty killing. It baffles me. It baffles me that teams talk about, you know, we're serious about winning the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Well, then be serious about paying the price for Noah Hanifin.
Especially since, and let me ask you about this. There's sort of an opinion that maybe this year's draft falls off a bit, maybe after 2025. Like if you're, I guess my point is, if you know you're going to have a pick in the late first round, wouldn't you want to say, yeah, let's go ahead and take it?
You know why I'm laughing?
Why?
Because every time I hear this in every draft. Oh, it falls off here. It falls off there.
Is that just an annual thing?
I think 21 to 50 is all the same pick.
Right.
I think the first 20 guys, you know pretty much who they are. They're first-round picks. After that, everything's a second-round pick.
Right.
How do teams pick 42 and go, we can't believe that guy was there?
Yeah.
You know why? Because they had him rated 24th.
Right.
That's right.
That's
so
fair.
that's how it happens. So
Yep.
it has nothing to do with the draft. It has to do with what's your situation right now. What price are you willing to pay to be bold and to go for it.
I like it. I like
Kelly
it.
McCrimmon doesn't hesitate
He
about
doesn't.
making moves.
He didn't do that in Brandon either. He just make those moves in Brandon, too. Pierre LeBrun reporting 6 or more teams are now inquiring about Jake Guentzel, and one of them is first of all, the Vancouver Canucks. I love Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin. They're just going for it right now. Can you imagine you add you add Lindholm, you sign Pettersson, and then you trade for Guentzel? How do you like that fit in Vancouver?
I love it.
Yeah.
Jim Rutherford, Patrick Allvin, Rick Tocchet, all were in Pittsburgh when Jake Guentzel was winning Stanley Cups amongst that group in 16 to 17. Proven player, top-line player, can play with good players, difference maker, shows up when it counts in the playoffs. There's no question that Jake Guentzel is somebody you want. How about the Vegas Golden Knights?
Yeah.
Mark Stone, they got long-term injury. And again, I just talked about Kelly McCrimmon. He's not hesitant to be bold. The Vancouver Canucks, again, here they are. You talk about, look where they're at. When do these opportunities arise? How do you strengthen your team? Zadorov, now you get Lindholm. Now you look at other opportunities to improve your team. That's the price to win the Stanley Cup is high.
Yep.
There's a price to be paid. Are you ready to pay it?
If you
Are you
can
ready?
do it.
Like, too many GMs in all sports talk the talk.
Yeah.
Not very many of them walk the walk.
I'm surprised the deal hasn't happened the way Jim Rutherford works, right?
Would you like to be the LA Rams who threw everything to win the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah. And everybody,
Yes, I would.
And everybody criticized them when they were making the deals, right?
Toronto Raptors, get Kawhi for one season. You got to it's about getting the title, right? You get one title, you have all that currency. Boston, they get that win over the Leafs Monday. They're also apparently listening to offers on last year's Vezina winner, Linus Ullmark, because they have Jeremy Swayman. They've had this two-headed goalie monster that loved to hug after victories. Put yourself in Don Sweeney's shoes here. You maybe want to pick up someone like Hanifin. And I know Calgary doesn't need another goalie. I get it. But my point is, would you take someone like that?
But maybe they trade for Ullmark and trade Markström.
Maybe.
Now they have another goalie.
Yeah, maybe they do. I mean, I guess what I'm saying
Musical
is,
chairs.
would you be okay parting? It's just worked so well for Boston over the years having this two-headed monster, but at some point, one of them's got to take over, right? Like, you just can't have two goalies that good playing for you, can you?
Why not?
I know you can, but it seems like you use those assets elsewhere.
Well, you're right, but again, the tandem situation with goaltenders in the NHL is the way of the present.
Right.
And that's what's
that's true.
There's very few teams that have a legit number one goaltender. You even look at the New York Rangers this year. Shesterkin's outstanding. Without Jonathan Quick there this year, they might have some challenges. And Jonathan Quick has played so well, just re-signs there for another year. That helps Shesterkin. It's really hard now to do what Mika Kiprusoff did, averaging over 70 games a year for 7 straight seasons. That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
So Don Sweeney's smart. So Don Sweeney's, there's a goaltending market out there? Well, maybe I'll find out what the interest is in Linus Ullmark.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with evaluating that. And if there's a deal to be made where he can help his team knowing that he has Swayman, Don Sweeney's not afraid to be bold. He did it getting Hampus Lindholm moving his team forward.
Yeah.
So we talk about being bold. The GMs that have shown it, don't be surprised when you see Linus Ullmark's name there. Is Don Sweeney canvassing the teams? What are you willing to pay?
Hound Dog, does Linus Ullmark have 3 more years left at about 5 AAV? Like, that's a pretty nice average if you're...
You know that Hound Dog, he's with Jim Taddy on Yes Guy like every 3 days now. It's
Jim
unbelievable.
Taddy, what a legend.
He's become the headliner.
Let's go to the promo. Let's check it out. Here we go. Craig, have you picked out your outfit for trade set?
What do you mean picked it out? Like, what do you think I go? Like, I go down and I look at the racks and I pick something out?
Kind of.
No, I don't do that. I have my outfit picked out and it'll be spectacular.
Well, I just asked you if you had it picked out, then you got mad at me, and then you said you have your outfit picked out.
Yeah, I know. I was just kind of...